welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLD 1010 Baltimore. Good morning, Baltimore. I know we're in a state of crises, and before we get started here, I'm going to give you, Jason, where's your microphone?
We'll go ahead and get started with prayer. I'll bring us.
All right. We have a great panel assembled here this morning. As you all know, this is Women's History Month, and there are some events that are going on that we want to make you aware of, and also we've got a panel of great minds, women here, that we're going to talk about some issues that are in the front of us. Again, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. As many of you know, as all of you should know, we're in a state of crises. The nation is just in the grips of this coronavirus, and it's affecting people so bad that I'm hearing that they're talking yesterday. Fauci, the brilliant man from the from our national, health department and allergies and stuff, he's contending that they're going to have to close down the nation. Nobody's going to, like they did in Italy, because because they haven't got the test ready. There's so many reasons. But our governor, Jason, wants me to go ahead and pray. I'm going to pray right now for those of you that are near your phones and you can touch them. You're not driving. I want everybody to close your eyes and let's just come before the Lord and say, oh God, we love you and we thank you for this day. Another day, oh God, we woke up clothed in our right minds, oh God. Oh God, you said that in you there is no fear, oh God. Oh God, but we will know in you we must have sound minds, oh God. So we ask for your direction and your guidance, oh Lord, to lead us and keep us safe during these times of trials, oh God. Even the children, oh God, that don't have food to eat, oh God. We thank you for the parks and the recreations who are opening so that they can go and get food to eat, oh God. But Lord, touch our city's hearts, because they're only giving the kids 18 and under years old food, oh God. But some of those older teenagers, Lord, they don't have jobs, they don't have money, they don't have food. Lord, touch our city's hearts, Lord. Help us feed all those that are hungry during this time period, oh God, as we try to avoid each other, oh God. Touch the city's heart, oh God. I don't know who made that decision, oh Lord, but we need to feed anybody that's hungry during this time period, oh Lord. Lord, because a hungry man is an angry man, oh God. Bob Marley was right. Lord, let your compassion, oh God. I heard on the radio a few minutes ago, everybody saying we need to get in the words. There are two lines from Jesus that I would like to quote to you that I feel is totally relevant at this point, and that is that we should love the Lord thy God with all our heart, mind, body, and soul, and that we should love our neighbor as we love ourselves. There's nothing more important right now. You got to call. We got to check on the older people, oh God. Make sure they're okay, oh God. Just call them, even if you don't go by. Lord, help us and guide us, oh Lord. Touch our leaders, oh God. Quicken their minds and their spirit, oh God. Oh Lord, in this virus, oh God. Let it not do what they say it's going to do. Extend your hand, oh God. Have mercy, your loving kindness unto us, oh God. And help us and guide us and lead us to where we should be. In thy Son, Jesus Christ's name, I pray. Amen. Amen. Well,
hallelujah.
Where's mine? I don't have.
He's going to give it back to you.
We're going to make an announcement first, and then I'll give you the mic back.
I just thought you were an assistant.
No. Not in this room.
Not in this room. Especially Senator Robinson.
Yes.
Especially Senator Robinson.
Yes.
So family, after that prayer, I thought we needed that first while I get the information up. But just wanted to inform the family that Governor Hogan has just had a press release announcing some sweeping executive orders happening in the state. As of 5 p.m. this afternoon, all bars, restaurants, gyms, movie theaters will have to close. Drive-thrus will be allowed to stay open, as well as carry-out services and delivery services like Postmates, Uber Eats, and those services will be allowed to continue to operate. This is following the CDC's guidelines, setting more than 50 individuals to be prohibited across the state, and including social and recreational events. This is also in his executive order is forcing essential services to stay open. And an example, grocery stores, banks, gas stations will be allowed to remain open. The executive order also prohibits utilities such as gas, electric, water, sewer, cable, phones to be cut off. And it also prevents any late fees as well. All evictions have been stayed in the state of Maryland, so you cannot evict anyone during this time. 250 state troopers have been deployed, and a special medical team from the National Guard has also been deployed as well. Practitioners from out of the state, as well as in the state, those that are licensed and not licensed, are allowed to practice and operate in the state of Maryland during this time. And then, of course, all schools will be closed, as well as they're going to open up 138 centers to be able to provide up to 3 meals a day, plus a snack to those individuals in need. So sweeping executive orders going through the state family, and be aware of that any gatherings of more than 50 are prohibited. And because of this 250 state trooper task force, they are looking at enforcing that rule with penalties. I also heard that locally the impound lot has been closed. So if your vehicle has been impounded, you will not be able to get your vehicle as of today. And I got a message last night from Marilyn Mosby, from our state's attorney, Marilyn Mosby, that the court system is open. They will be having bail hearings and hearings, but it's not open to the general public. So the business is being conducted in the courthouses.
Wow.
Well, there's a little bit of light in there. People won't be evicted, and
Praise God.
the utilities they won't be doing anything until the month of May.
Wow.
So y'all don't just go spend the money, because you don't have to pay the bill right now, because they're still gonna come and cut you off.
What can you spend it on? The grocery stores are empty.
Yeah.
I went to the grocery store last night, family, and I did a
Yes.
live video. Everything was gone. Milk, bread.
But guess what was there?
All the
vitamins.
toiletries. all that was
keep
still
your
there.
immune
They
system up.
didn't touch that. But Lysol, you couldn't find Lysol. Pine Sol, you couldn't find any of the bare essentials, as well as things that are disinfectants and toilet paper. All that stuff was completely wiped out.
And it reminds me of the shelves in Africa, that I saw that were actually a norm. With the shelves being bare
How about that?
like we have them here. When you walk in and you expect to see the stores full like here. And so now when you walk in, it's like walking in the stores. And, Africa. This is a real wake-up call.
Absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is the biggest wake-up call is how just totally absent we are for leadership at the White House.
That's true.
Yeah.
Know something but one of the things, and I'm a small business advocate, and everybody who knows me knows that. And there was a discussion last night from Wynn Briscoe, who is acting director of the SBA, U.S. Small Business Administration, and she was talking about that they were going to put out what they call an optional list, because there are so many things that we actually purchased from China, including medicine, etc.
Yeah.
And now that you can't get that from China, now they're looking at putting together a list of United States small businesses that can provide those services.
That's a blessing.
It really is
That's
a
really
blessing.
blessing.
Even using the NIC codes in order to do that, and she gave an example for people who were, you buy paper or penicillin that was in 2004 that was being manufactured in a foreign country, but who can do it now?
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a good opportunity for us to determine what services have been, exported and start bringing
Yeah.
these
That's right.
services back.
Yeah.
That's
and a great
absolutely.
opportunity for small black businesses
To
Absolutely.
start.
to start.
That's right. That's right.
Pharmaceutical companies,
Absolutely.
providing products and
Yeah.
services. I couldn't believe the variety of pharmaceuticals that were being produced exclusively
Yeah.
in China now.
We have to put all of this in perspective and why this is happening and why we're meant to be still at this moment and really to be introspective, pray, meditate, really just focus on the great things in life and what we do have. And this is a time for everyone to stop worrying about the tangible things, like the things we can buy, what we need, what we want. We want to go on vacation. We need a vacation, and really focus on people and the elderly and what's really happening.
Yes,
and like
yes.
you said, that puts it in perspective thinking about the shelves in Africa. Like they have that way in many countries all the time. So we're such a gluttonous society.
We are, because we're so used to it always being
Right.
there. So this is a wake up call.
Like little hot and ready.
And
Everything's ready.
We also need to throw the I and me out the window.
That's right.
And now
Yes.
it's we and us.
That's
Yes,
right.
And
it
in my
is.
village, we have a network, a community of holistic practitioners, acupuncturists, nutritionists, cleansing things that we can go to keep ourselves strong.
Yeah.
I told Patrick yesterday, I
You know,
said,
we
folks
need-
don't realize how communal we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
How connected we are.
And
Yes.
resourceful.
Right. And now that resourcefulness
Resourcefulness.
has to really take
It
into
has to take
to
place.
play.
Absolutely.
We have to share
Because
the
we
information.
Always,
I
right,
hope.
we always say that we're this type of people who can make something out of nothing.
Yes, and
you
we
know,
are.
we
Always
don't
been
just we
resilient.
always been resilient.
Yes.
And now this is the time to show. I was listening to something this morning. They were like, okay, people are saying, oh, this is hood, or this is this, or this is poor, but those type of people, we know how to be resourcefull. We know how
To help each
to
other.
make something out of nothing. What's
All right.
wrong with
We
eating
made
the
a
Hold on
delicacy
for-
out
hold-
of chitlins.
Hold on. Don't get me started. We're moving real fast here, but I told you we have an incredible panel this morning of women. This is National Women's Month, and as you can hear them, and for those of you who are on Facebook watching us, we would certainly encourage others who have the, since a lot of y'all at home, to go to your Facebook page, go to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People, and you can look in here up on us and all these beautiful, beautiful women that are going to talk, and we're going to share and discuss some things. First, Senator Barbara Robinson. She's a great author. She was a great politico, had a long history. She's an entrepreneur for forever, but she's a great author. So her books, and we're going to talk about a little bit about her books, and we're going to talk about what's going on in our community with our women. The next lady I'd like for you to meet is Kendall Lanice. Is I pronouncing it correctly?
Kendall.
Kendall.
Yes, Lanice. You got Lanice right, so that's
Okay.
perfect.
She's affectionately called Lady Motivator, which is truly her gift. She has been a life coach for more than a decade. It is her excitement for helping people which naturally led her to pursue her passion. Her daily goal is to empower people, motivating them to reach and discover their fullest potential. Her innate love for people compelled her to start Living True, Living You. That's the name of your organization?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We're going to get to you. And the next lady I met last year,
Yes.
when we had the red, black, and green,
African Liberation Day.
yes, Liberation Day, she was there, and I saw her, and she was walking, and she was strutting like a queen. I mean, she was just regal in her walk. And then when I heard her speak, I said, oh my God, she embodies it all. She embodies it all. You know, I was reading in Baltimore, there was a time during the enslavement period where the white people used to get mad because the black woman would wear those great head crowns, those scarves. And y'all should see, if you're on Facebook, you should see this crown she's got on today.
yeah.
Did you tie that yourself?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Took me about 1 minute.
I knew you were going to say that.
They always look so complicated because they're works of art. They really are works of art. She got on this great crown this morning, so we welcome you, Miss. How do you pronounce your name?
Abana Dizro.
Abana Dizro.
And since I just recently got married, now it's Abana Dizro Morris.
I have to ask you the origins of the name Abano. I love names.
Abana comes from West Africa. It's from Ghana.
Okay.
And Abana actually means Tuesday. Any woman who was born on a Tuesday is an Abana. Okay. And can be an Abana. And if it's a man born on a Tuesday, his name would be Kwabana.
Kwabana.
Yes.
Interesting.
And
I
so
love
there's
names.
a name for every day of the week.
Wow.
Yes.
See that? We learn something
What
every
about
day.
Thursday? I think I was born on a Thursday.
That's Ya, Y-A-A.
Okay.
My daughter was born on a Thursday.
Okay.
Her name is Ya Asanchawa.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, see that? See,
we're
you.
learning and everything.
That's what
This
you
is
do
all
when
right.
Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. You're going to learn something you never even thought of.
You're going to learn today. Look,
We gonna learn from each
Oh,
other.
trust me,
Right,
trust me,
that's right.
trust me.
That's
Names
right.
are so important. They're
Yes.
so important. And we also have Miss Nancy Wright. She is a political activist, educator, and union member, wife, mother, and grandmother. With the firm belief that everything can be made better, she began her activism while still in high school. There she engaged in events to fight for the rights of political prisoners, of women, and of students, as well as actively working in opposition to the U.S. wage war against Vietnam. Bless your heart. You're around about my age then, aren't you? Her unwavering desire for justice led her to the recognition that she had an obligation to serve humanity, but needed to be in an organization in order to be most effective. While a student at Southern Connecticut State, whoa, I went to you. Get out of here.
Small world.
Yeah, it
Small
is. We were probably there about the same time. Nancy worked with campus organizations at the University of Southern Connecticut State University, attempted to organize a statewide black student union. She volunteered in the Black Panthers Breakfast Program in New Haven, Connecticut, and joined black women in the struggle. Bless you. Thank you. It is such an honor to meet you, and thank you, Abano, for bringing her with you.
You're welcome.
And y'all know Jason over here. It's a small world, isn't it? Say hello to Jason Rodriguez, the greatest
Jason.
producer.
Jason who?
Rodriguez, he keeps us in line and keeps things going. Before we go any further, I want to go directly to Doc Cheatham. Doc Cheatham, how are you, sir? I know you got an announcement to make, and I know you're busy, so please come with it. Go ahead.
Well, I'm honored to be standing here in the Easternwood Sandtown Park and Playground in West Baltimore, also known as the Freddie Gray area. I'm standing next to Leon Pinkett, our councilman. We're waiting on a truck right now with about 12 volunteers that will help us unload the truck coming from the Baltimore Franciscan Center, our community, which is Matthew Henson. The two locations that have food are a bit far for us, knowing that we have elementary kids and preschool kids. One is, of course, the Sandtown Winchester Academy, which is on Gold Street. It is a good distance apart. Plus, our kids would have to walk past Monroe Street and Fulton, which is U.S. Route 1. Okay. The other one is, of course, the Lillian Jones Rec Center, and that one is further away than actually the school. So the Franciscan Center, as I said, we have Councilman Leon Pickett here. We're waiting to get a truckload of food to not only give to the kids and the surrounding schools, but neighbors. We're going to provide them with food as well.
Bless you. Thank you. Yes.
We thank y'all for the opportunity. And as I said on the Larry Young Morning Show earlier today, I was crying with joy this morning to hear that the Maryland Senate voted to approve of the funding for the HBCUs. It's been a 51 year.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Yes.
That was my bill.
That was your bill?
That was my bill when we were there.
Wow.
As a matter of fact, we fought like mad in order to. We wanted to get BCCC included in that, and they did. They did include it in there the first year, but then the funding wasn't there.
Well, it got
but
approved
I'm glad.
today.
That was a 51-year fight for me. I was president of the freshman class at Coppin in 1968, and that's when we shut Coppin down as students. These are students now.
Yeah.
We shut Coppin down and said 51 years ago that Coppin deserved more funding. And then 14 years ago is when we had plaintiffs filed a lawsuit against the state of Maryland for not funding the HBCU. So now we're just hoping that everyone will put in calls to the governor, tell the governor he needs to do the right thing. The House has taken with their leadership from the Speaker of the House. The Senate has now taken almost unanimous vote. So now time has come to give these 4 schools the funding that they should. And I'm suggesting to the 3 other schools, they need to do the same thing that Morgan did. They need to leave the University of Maryland system. It is a racist system that forces through thick and thin. And I'm saying, Brian Forrest, we have not forgotten that you were one of the folks against us.
Well, he's not up running for election this time around, is he?
No, not this time, but he will be running again in 3 years.
And we will not forget. We will not forget. We want him out of there.
We got more people come. We don't want to hold that show up because you got the greatest show on earth with all of those lovely women there today.
Well, thank you.
You
We
got
miss
the
you.
greatest
You only
show
say
on
it
earth.
because it's true.
And he's not here. Doc, bless you for all you
Thank
do
you.
and all
Love
you've
you,
been
Doc.
doing. And we want to commend Adrian Jones, the Speaker of the House.
Oh, yeah.
This is
That's what-
amazing.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
comes the food.
Oh, here comes the
Thanks
food.
for taking my call.
Yes, sir. Bless you. Thank you, Doc. All right.
Yeah.
All right. All right. We got, I believe they told me Leon. Leon, how are you?
Hey, how you doing?
All right. I hear you got some information for us about where people can get bleach and other things.
Yes, I'm heading up there right now. I had a problem getting my dog to the vet because he wouldn't get in the car. Okay, so look, I was there last night, and right up at the top of Lock Raven, Taylor Avenue, it's one of those Chinese-owned stores. It's like a dollar store.
Uh-huh.
They got everything up there. They're only limiting the the sanitizer. I bought a box out of there last night. And when homeless people stop me, I give them a sanitizer instead of money, okay?
Yeah.
I have had a couple of them throw it back at me, and the guy said, pick it up, man, you can sell that thing, you know? If you go into that Chinese store, that's like a dollar store, they'll limit you to 3. He gave me 5 because I bought so much stuff last night. But if you look back on the shelf, they got Fabios, they got bleach, they got Pine Sol, they got everything back up there. And it's cut rate, okay? Now, if you go down a little further, maybe a half a mile, is a place called Lowe's, which is where people go get construction equipment. They got all kind of stuff up there, man.
Bleach?
So don't sell out. Don't bleach anything you want, man. Look, don't sell out people short to make them think that it is a pandemic. But don't think they can't get no supplies. I'm going up there to buy Dixon. I'm in their campaign, okay? All right, so let's get him up there. As far as Doc is concerned, tell him I left a number for him about that HABC, who my cousin is a high official in the federal government, okay? And he can call him and find out how much money is going to be distributed to the daggone states, and they're going to go to the governors. But let me just tell you, I ain't got nothing against HABCs. But with this pandemic going, right now, and the allocation for that, and of course, you talking about a half of $500 million going to the
HBCU. Okay, go ahead.
It ain't gonna happen. Not with the percentage of colleges that are supposed to get them, which are mostly African American. And Kurt Smoke is saying, just study the duplication of service. Okay, if I go to Morgan and study political science, and I go to the University of Baltimore and study political science, and it's the same kind of course, if I put on my resume Morgan or University of Baltimore, who you think they're gonna hire?
Right, exactly.
And I'm just telling it like it is.
All right, Leon, thank you.
My cousin's name is Maurice Washington. He only likes to use Dr. Washington when he's negotiating for money. He's one of the top officials over there in the federal government in the Department of Education. My number, I'll give you off the air because I don't want no people calling me and threatening me. Okay? I'll leave it with y'all, and you can give it to Doc or whoever you want.
Okay.
You feel responsible.
Take his number down. Take it. Okay, he's got you. Thank you, Leon, so much.
All right, take care. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. I'm going to bring in one other. Did I lose Lemitra?
Yeah, she dropped, and she was locked in.
Oh, wow. Okay, Lemitra, if you're listening, call back, sweetheart. All right, we're going to get into our conversation, as you all know. Oh, my God, we've already a half an hour. See how time pass when you're having fun?
Isn't that something?
You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB, 1010 Baltimore. Don't you touch that dial. We'll be right back.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
Okay. We're back. We're back on the air. And we're going to get into our panel. As many of you might know, this is Women's History Month.
Yeah.
Now, Alice Cooper, the rock and roll, used to be a superstar. He wrote a song that said that woman is the nigger of the world. Exactly the way it hit you all. Do y'all know that the white people gave the black man the right to vote before they gave white women the right to vote?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, what does that say to us?
That women are second class.
Still. Well, then, and sometimes we are now, because if you look at how we're still fighting today for equal pay for the same work.
Yes.
And but what disturbs me is that in the 60s, I fought for and won for women to be able to wear the natural hairstyle to work.
Yeah.
You know, I put them in the car, and when I became supervisor in the court system, going down to Annapolis to see Sweeney so that we could wear a natural hairdo. And I'm writing about that in my next book because that was something. But to come in 2020 and still be fighting.
The Crown Act.
Yeah. Yeah, still be fighting for the same thing.
Fighting for us to wear our hair how it grows out of our head.
That's just unbelievable that it's even discussed.
Absolutely.
Right.
It is.
And they can dye theirs blue, green, and walk into the office and nobody says anything.
And wash it, and shampoo it, and brush it, and go about their business.
Right.
But we gotta, as my supervisor, white woman said, "Girl, do something to your hair."
See, and that's
but
a
I
problem.
can tell you what I
but that's
said
why
then.
the Crown Act is going on now, and that's why we still have that issue.
Right.
Is because if we have to be, relaxers started to make white people relaxed in a sense. You know, it made them feel comfortable if our hair was straight.
It's just a crock.
If it was curled. It is.
It
really
is just a crock. And when I read the history of our people, I realize that they'll do anything they want to. what was that woman's name that was running on the beach, had her hair braided?
Bo Derek.
Bo Derek. When she had braids, it was all the rage.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
It was all.
Exactly.
Y'all remember that?
That's right.
Exactly.
As if they weren't doing it.
And I'm gonna tell you something now.
Years.
When you look when I look at the Fashion Week,
right,
the models that come out with them $3,000 shoes on and stuff,
yeah.
you notice for just a little bent on their look, they'll have something braided in their head.
You're right.
They do it. They do it. They suck. They're culture vultures. Is what they are.
Yeah.
Culture vultures.
Yeah.
They come and they seek and they take over. Well, before all of this happened, let's go back to the Bible days. Let's go back to the time when it was a matriarchal society, right? Mm-hmm. When women ruled Egypt.
Yeah.
Okay? Let's talk about that. And the men decided, no, y'all gonna have to look up to us because we can protect you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So they came in with all these laws and took away all this power from women. ISIS. I mean, when you look back, and this is before the Bible was ever written, and don't get me started on that either. Okay? The women were running everything, but man decided that he felt like it was a patriarchal society, and that is followed through in ways that just have harrowing results.
Yeah.
Because our daughters, as you said, the Lily Ledbetter Act, everybody love Obama. He all right with me, but I ain't all that in love with him because that Lily Ledbetter Act, how many people do you know that are being paid equivalent to a man? Was it never consummated by the Senate?
I don't think it's ever.
It has. It has not. Well, actually, it has, but it still is not being practiced in small businesses.
And if you're a black woman,
that's right.
Oh my God,
That's double.
That's
double. Discrimination.
It is double discrimination, and we just carry on like it means nothing.
Yeah.
I understand identifying and going back to our biblical days, and I appreciate that. However, we have a job to do in order to make the men of today conscionable of the black women, period.
The double standard.
And black women and protecting black women.
Absolutely.
But you start with y'all sons. It starts with the children,
Come on.
With the children, but they get right on up and then they forget. They want to be subjected. I think I was reading Ann Richards this morning, who used to be the last Democratic governor of Texas. And she said nothing makes a Republican happy than to be up in somebody's bedroom. Okay? Up in their business. Okay? All right.
I would like to mention something that I believe is very important about the hair. I'm not surprised at all that this is happening with the hair. What I am surprised at is how far that it has gone. And to me, it's more than the hair, because when we wear our hair natural, they see us self-assured. They see us confident. They see us happy about being who we are. And anytime that has ever happened, they find a way, make a way to break it down, because when you're like that, they see power and they don't want to feel that power or see that power.
I agree with you. They don't want to see it formulating.
That's right.
I thought about that the other day. God bless you. We're on the same wavelength. This looking power. They coming into their own now.
No.
Now I want y'all to know something. I don't like interracial marriage. I just don't feel like I have the right though to tell a person who they should marry.
But you have a right to your opinion.
Yeah, I do have a right to my opinion, but I ain't got no right to tell nobody who they should marry. Right. When I see them commercials on TV with the white man and the black woman, I cringe. I do cringe because I just say, why can't they find in the black man? We need to see stability in our community, in our families. But did you all know, I read this book and it talked about white men. They don't like their women to wear their hair processed and straight. Notice that most of the time the women have natural hair.
That's so true.
They have natural hair. Yeah. And if they got straight hair, I wonder if they process downstairs too, or they just do it.
But they're the same ones that like black culture,
yes,
African art.
Yeah, they want a black woman.
If they want to get a black woman, they want a black woman.
That's right. They don't want somebody that's trying to assimilate.
It's true.
Exactly.
But the black man, and a lot of black men, I'm not even gonna. They love natural hair. They really do. But then you have that pocket who likes the weaves and who likes the perms and who like all.
They want their women to look like white women. A lot of black men, not all of them.
Not all.
Not all
something, but some
but
of them.
that kind of it's a deep psychological.
Well, sure, it's a assimilation.
It goes a lot deeper.
But go back to the relationship
but
with
then
their
it also
mothers
goes
too.
back. Sometimes a woman has to be comfortable with herself.
Yes,
that's right.
Because when I started wearing a natural, again, I'm going back to the 60s, y'all. When I got on the bus going to work, and I was wearing a natural, the person or the people that talked against me were black people. I mean, like this one woman came up to me and said, "Why do you want to make yourself look ugly?"
It's true.
So even now, when some women wear the natural hairdo and they get flack from other women about
it's true
about making yourself look
You're
ugly.
absolutely right.
Rather than appreciating who you are. I have nothing against weaves or wigs or whatever naturally.
Right.
It's funny. However, I don't think that we as a people should put down who we came out of the womb to be.
Yes, ma'am. We have to do
with our big lips and big toes and big whatever, because that's who God made us be.
Because why is it, like you said, do something with your hair
Right.
as if
You
natural
didn't.
hair exactly do something, fix yourself up.
Right.
Yeah.
So why can't natural hair be fixed up?
Sometimes you get that from your own family.
Right.
Oh,
True.
yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
of the time. And your
I-
community, like
I
you
am,
said.
I am very blessed because my family is, all my nieces are highly educated lawyers and doctors, and they all wear natural hair.
Yeah.
And I just love it because I just looked up, saw coming home for Christmas, and started noticing. Then I said, "All right, girls,
And
come
as
on
a
through."
black man, I love that.
Listen,
I love, but a lot of people come up to you and say, "I'm natural under here." They're pointing to the wig. People do that to you. They'll be like, "I'm
Exactly.
natural under here." I'll be like, "Okay."
Miss Nancy, I'm going to come to you next because you remind me of someone I've seen before. I would like to introduce my niece, who is Dr. Stacia Alexander. Hi, Stacia.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so glad you finally made it through. She is, tell us what you do. She's at Paul Quinn College. She has her own business, but she's a mental health specialist. Tell us what you do, Stacia.
Well, I've been a licensed professional counselor for over 20 years in private practice, and about 18 months ago I joined the wonderful campus of Paul Quinn College to oversee their mental health clinic. So that's why I've been on the phone this morning kind of working through some things for the students.
Well, you just know this. Y'all should see her. She's a natural blonde. What do you call her? How do you do? What do you call it? It's in levels. Starts out light and gets. It's called ombre. Okay, but she's famous for her hair. They call her Dr. Alexander with the hair because she got that. My mama say good hair, but when you get like me, any hair is good hair. Any hair is good hair. But
if it's on your head,
and mine won't come back no more. So it ain't. It's what it is. Any hair is good hair, though.
That's right.
But Stacia, we're just getting ready. Your timing is perfect. I wanted to ask the ladies. I wanted to talk to Miss Nancy. Miss Nancy, how long have you been wearing your hair natural?
Almost all of my life.
I kind of thought that.
I when I was a child, my mother did not allow us. She didn't straighten our hair, and we were so angry, my sister and I. And when we became teenagers, she finally let us do it. By the time I was out of high school, I had completely rejected it. And I was wearing an afro at that time, big afro, and never went back. Now my hair's gray, probably more white than black.
Beautiful. It's beautiful.
It is.
Well, thank you. I pride myself. I say no dye, no fry, and I don't use lye. So I don't
no fry and no lie.
That's right.
We got a problem to post that.
Right.
Okay.
That's a t-shirt.
The way it came out, the way I was born, that's the way I wear it. And I'm proud of it. I'm happy with my hair. I'm not trying to change who I am. I'm not trying to change my color. I'm not trying to, I just completely reject all of that because I love being an African woman.
Yes,
Amen.
bless you.
Amen.
Oh, you just give me a chills.
Right.
If I had my organ here, if I had my Hammond organ here, we'd all be shouting right now. Okay, we'd be going.
Why shouldn't you?
We'd all be going in.
We need more.
1967, I had this huge afro, and they said you cannot march for graduation. Because I had an afro.
And they just did that in 2020.
And they're still doing it. But this was a black school, right?
What?
It was a black school, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. First 4-year graduating class, they said you can't march. I said, well, okay. So what did I do? Lord would have it. I wrote the class song and couldn't nobody play it but me.
So did you walk?
Not only did I walk, but I was on stage for the whole show. Okay, so they tried to cut me off and tried to say what I couldn't do, but God said not so. I was swinging that hair up there on the stage as I was playing the class song. So, that's why I believe in God, because when we think we're at our end, God will make a way that just goes, it's just supernatural.
Hello. Yes.
And some people say, well, Patrick, he don't always do it. I don't care, just because I believe I feel better.
Right. Yes.
And when you feel better and you got peace,
That's
you can
right.
deal
That's
with things.
right.
That's right.
That's what it
right.
is. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but
That's
I believe that there is somebody that is greater than me.
Come on.
Because I need somebody to go talk to when
That's
I think I
right.
know everything.
Come on now.
Okay? Don't get me started.
All right.
Come on now.
Stacia,
Yes.
we are just getting started. The first thing I wanted to bring up to the panel is the myth of the angry black woman. Yes, I wanted to talk about.
I'd love to address that, if
Yes,
I may.
yes, Miss Nancy, go right ahead.
And I want to address that because we're going to talk a little bit later about a program that our organization, the All African Women's Revolutionary Union, is going to be sponsoring. And one of the themes is sisters supporting each other in an unjust world. We have a lot to be angry about, but I'm inspired when I look at what some of our sisters are doing. And I'm reminded of a story that happened, an event that happened in December of this past year, 2019. A sister lived in Georgia, I believe Atlanta, I'm not sure, named Diane Elliott. And this was a 37-year-old sister who had a son, a 14-year-old son, that was disabled, severely disabled. He had Down syndrome. And she dropped him off at a hospital and abandoned him. She left. And because surveillance cameras caught her, she was arrested and charged with child cruelty. But the question is, was she cruel? This is a woman that had 4 children. Her 14-year-old had gotten to the point that she could not handle him. She was by herself. She was homeless. She lived in a hotel. So if you can imagine living in a single room, in a hotel room with 4 children, and the oldest one having Down syndrome, not being able to communicate in writing or speech. And this sister is struggling to take care of these children. And she took him to some place that she thought he would be safe and cared for, and left him because she couldn't deal with him. So the question is, was she cruel? Or does she live in a cruel society that doesn't look out for people? Does she live in a cruel society that allows a woman with disabled child and other children to be homeless and live in a single room? Is she cruel, or does she live in a nation that's cruel, that spends 54% of its budget, of its national budget, on military expenditures to kill people and to maim other children, like this woman's child? But yet somehow that's not considered to be cruel. Okay, does she live in a cruel nation, or does she live in a nation that only spends 6% of its budget on housing? That, and if they took some of that military budget, she wouldn't have been homeless. And only spends 3% of its budget on science, which had a larger portion of that budget been spent on science, maybe some of those problems that children born with disabilities may have been solved by now. So the question is, who's cruel? Was the mother cruel, or does she live in a cruel
That's an
environment?
interesting subject, but does that not create angry black women? Because that is the that's the topic right now.
I don't. I think sometimes black women speak differently than white women, and misidentified our passion or compassion is misidentified
as aggression.
Absolutely. For an example, when I was a member of the House of Delegates, and as I said, all of you understand, my platform always was minority and women-owned businesses.
Yes, it was.
My bill changed the name of the governor's office for minority businesses. And when I was presenting one of my bills, and I knew from experience that minority businesses in the healthcare industry were discriminated against, because I've been a business owner for over 30 years. And when I was there presenting one of my bills, I'm talking about things that happen. I'm saying that this needs to be done, and we need to do this, and we need to do this. Afterwards, some of the white delegates, talked about how angry I was with presenting that. And Shirley Nathan Pulliam, who was at that time, she just retired as senator, but at that time, Shirley was a delegate as well, and I was presenting it in a committee where she was, and she explained to them, she says, she's not angry. She is concerned about what's happening. She's trying to get you to understand the passion and the need to do blah, blah, blah. So it's not that we are angry. It's that our passion is misdiagnosed.
That's right. Most so, and sometimes not listened to.
That is so
Absolutely.
true.
That's the real thing.
Even when they talk about when you say if she puts her hands on her hip and then
that's just because we have flavor like that. That's just a little flavor.
So it's not anger.
So if I may, let me just tell you the end of my story. What happened to this woman?
Okay.
Because I think to me this kind of sums up this concept of anger. She went to trial, and when she went to the courtroom, she looked back, and the courtroom was full of other women, other sisters, who had come to support her, and they dared the court to arrest this woman, to put her in jail. And the judge said, well, she has nowhere to live. And one woman said, she can live with me. Well, she doesn't have anyone to take care of her children. I'll take care. It's like one by one, all these sisters, they were not angry. They took action. They took action. They were compassionate.
Yes. Yeah.
They didn't even know her. They had just heard their story. So angry, no. I think sometimes we just need a vehicle to express our passion. And it's wonderful that we have our
to
people,
understand our passion,
and also to understand the people who are in positions of power, who can change laws and make legislation. We appreciate that, but it's all of our responsibility. And we cannot turn our backs on each other.
That's right. I think that's a misconception, too, that women don't stick together. Women can't work together. There's no sisterhood. I'm sure all of these ladies on this panel have a sisterhood. And most women do. And that's the misconception, too, that women are at each other. We did a show yesterday with Jason. He'll tell you, we're all about sisterhood. And there are a lot of women who are. So that's a misconception, too, that black women don't want to root for each other, don't want to see each other win. That's my whole platform. That's what I'm about. And I see it in my women's conferences, podcasts, whatever, speaking everywhere. Women come out to support other women. And I think that has to change too. That narrative, we have to stop saying, oh, women don't want the best for us. Women are trying to pull each other down. No, we are lifting, and we are standing on shoulders yours.
That's right.
That you paved the way. You said in the 60s with natural hair. We are standing on your shoulders. And the women after me, I'll be 49 this year, and I am standing on the shoulders, and a lot of people are on mine.
That's true.
And it's about sisterhood and coming together. That's true. And that's a misconception. So I don't want to, and we're not angry.
I believe everything that you're saying. And we could do better.
Yes,
because
with everything.
We do. There is a sisterhood. We support each other. But there's also a lot of jealousy and envy amongst women.
That's
that
true.
When you see one walking down the street, you be like, oh, I love her outfit. I love her hair.
But her shoes
and
are
walk right
over.
past. right past. And if I see somebody, I saw you walking out, I say, oh, wow, I really like your outfit. But it's too many of us that cannot do that.
That's true.
And so we build up this mistrust.
That's true.
Amongst each other. That's why I say we got to realize what is inside of us to keep us from connecting naturally.
See, and with the workshops I do, I have I have an assignment that I have them do. Like when I talk to young girls or I talk to grown women, I have them stand in front of each other. And for 30 seconds, they have to say, I like your hair, I like your hat, I like it. They have to find something beautiful about that woman. And let me tell you, the other woman, the glow on the other woman's face, priceless. There's some tears, a lot, and I'm about to cry now. Tears come. And I'm talking about, I start with the littles, all the way up to the growns. And I'm talking about from 3 years old to 60 years old and beyond. So I do agree with you. Yes. We have to do better because there is a lot of jealousy. Yes, there is a lot. There's too much. If I can't give you a compliment without finding something wrong about you.
We got to start by little girls.
Is it jealousy or is it self-insecurity?
Self-insecurity. Boom. You hit it right.
Part of it.
You hit the nail on the head.
Because, I like your outfit. But I know that I can't afford one like that. So I'm feeling some kind of way about myself.
Yeah.
So it's going to project on you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I love your hair, but I don't feel comfortable about my own hair.
You're right. You're absolutely right. And that's why we have to affirm one another.
Absolutely.
That's why.
Absolutely.
There was a conversation that we had yesterday, and we were talking about the sisterhood.
Yes.
And whether or not it is a guaranteed acceptance into the sisterhood.
Yes.
Because you are another sister.
Yeah.
I gave you a statement yesterday from Madeleine Albright, who said that any woman that doesn't support another woman, that there is a special place in hell for you.
Yeah.
And just recently with Senator Elizabeth Warren, she even stated that, the reason why she didn't really kind of move forward and propel forward is because of sexism and because of that lack of sisterhood.
Yeah.
And she feels that sisterhood, along with Madeleine Albright, should be a given. Should sisterhood be a given?
No. It has to be worked on.
Absolutely. I don't see voting for somebody because they are a sister and you don't have anything to give in order to help.
That's right.
Well, they do it for the mayor or for the past three mayors.
That's because they want something different and they know a woman can handle it.
They just bought a different lie is what it is. Dr. Alexander, me and you had this conversation the other night, and I shared some experiences with you, and you told me that Patrick, uncle, she calls me uncle, please don't speak generally. Not all women are like that, but the women there's a consensus here that there are issues. What do you have to say?
Well, and that's what I asked you. I said, don't speak globally. I think if we, even, just like we wouldn't want anyone to say all black people, we just wouldn't want that.
That's right.
So I think that's the source of contention that I have. Mm-hmm. When I have seen women who have difficulty enjoying the company of other women, I start talking to them about what happened to you.
That's right.
What woman hurt you?
That's right.
What woman let you down? Where is it that your unforgiveness lies? So when we begin to have that conversation and really identify why they don't trust women in total versus the woman who did you wrong, or the set of women in high school who talked about you, or the director that you had who, cheated you of a raise or something like that. When we start to break it down and say why you don't like a particular type of woman or these particular women that you spend time with, then we can stop saying globally.
That's right.
That's women are backstabbers. All women don't trust other women. That's so I do come at it from a perspective of there's been some trauma. If you can look at me and tell me I don't fool with women like that, okay,
you've been hurt by a woman.
That's true.
Immediately, I think
do you think it's maternal? Do you think
Absolutely.
Do you think it starts at home?
I think a lot of things start at home. I really do. I think the root is home.
I do too. Doctor, what were you saying? What do you say, Doctor?
I would say that we're globalizing. We cannot say that trauma started at home. You have some girls that get to college and they're annihilated in that space. They are annihilated regardless of what type of relationship they have with their mother.
This is
you
true.
have some women who get in the workplace and it's a dog-eat-dog world in the workplace. So then they begin to distrust women. So that's why I just don't speak globally. I say, what are some of the things that are contributing to women not liking other women. And then we can say some have emotional problems starting from childhood. Some it happened in high school. Some were bullied. Some in the workplace. Some,
But I think that
their own relationships.
I think with self-love and affirmation and affirming. I do.
Camilla Tree.
I believe that one of the most important things that we can do as women right now is to really focus on the little women, the little girls. I mean, if you start planting those seeds,
Yes.
I'm going to tell you something I do whenever I'm out. If I see a young girl, she can be 3 years old or 4 years old, I'll say, "Oh my God, you're such a beautiful princess." And she'll go, and some have even said, "I'm not a princess." I said, "Yes, you are," because I was looking at TV the other day and I saw a princess on there and she looked just like you. And she turned to her mom and she said, "I'm a princess." And her mother looked at me, "Yes, you are." See, I told you was a princess, but that's a seed. Start planting these
I love
seeds.
that.
This
That's
is
right.
who you are.
That's
This is
right.
who you are.
That's
Not what
right.
you can become,
That's
but
right.
you're already
That's right.
that.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
my
Yes.
great,
Absolutely.
one of my
Absolutely.
great grandbabies, she's 6 years old, and I said, "You are so pretty," and she says, "And I'm intelligent too."
That's right.
Yes, I love that.
Yes. Well, I have an after school program, and it's always more girls than there are boys. And there was this one little girl. Her hair hadn't been done in years. It hadn't even been combed. I mean, she was just really, and I noticed she was having some emotional issues. So I kind of took her close to me and talked to her and told her how pretty she was, and got a friend of mine to come up and just braid her hair for her. And she was one of my best music students. That's one thing I know, she would get her lessons done. And then I went to some of the other people in the school, and they said, "Oh, she's just a little liar." They had all written that child off.
That's
all of them said the same thing. You can't trust her. Blah blah blue blues, because she did one thing. They and that's what we do sometimes in our community, in our
rise
families.
to your level of expectations of them.
When I used to teach, I remember when I taught and I filled in for someone's class and she left. She gave this whole list, and it was a Caucasian teacher, and she gave this whole list. Watch out for this person. Watch out. Everybody was black.
Of course.
She said, "Watch out for this." So what I did, me being me, I made them my helper. They were intelligent. They needed something to do. They wanted to stop being ignored, and they wanted some love.
Yes.
So I kept them. It was two.
I think she should not be a teacher.
Yep. And she
First
said,
of
"Watch
all.
out." Exactly.
Exactly.
Every
All right.
child is
Listen, we
beautiful.
got to do a break when we're coming back. Myron, thank you for holding. Sherry, I see you, Brother Carlos. Always good to see you. Y'all, we'll be right back. You're listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WOLB 1010 Baltimore. Don't touch that dial. Hot conversation up in here is getting hotter, too.
And it was two.
Talk in the day. Soul at night on the new 1010 WOLB.
Each and every Wednesday, tune into At the DJ Booth Radio Show, powered by At Wise Guys Entertainment, hosted by At DJ Knowledge and at On The Grind Duke. Plus, Baltimore's hottest, Bam Bam, is now on the show. Live on WOL 1010 AM, Wednesdays, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Special guests, live interviews with the Entertainment Inside Scoop, Artist Spotlight with DJ Duke, and Shop Talk with DJ Knowledge. Special thanks to At the Nick of Time Media, at Wise Guys Entertainment. Also watch the show for an official YouTube channel at Wise Guys Entertainment. Get the latest info on the DMV from Queen Bee of the DMV. It's Baltimore's talented DJs and MCs talking about trending topics, live interviews, and artist spotlight. The DJ Booth Radio Show cares about the community and is always giving back to area school. They support new local artists and shining light on up-and-coming talent. Each and every Wednesday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. Catch the Shop Talk about local and national entertainment. DJ Booth Radio Show streaming live on WOLBbaltimore.com. Every Wednesday at 1 p.m. It's where the future of entertainment lives. Don't miss it.
Mary Miller. To know her is to like her. Mary Miller has lived in Baltimore City for over 30 years, and she's an urban policy expert on Baltimore's core needs: quality education, affordable housing, inclusive growth. I like that. And she knows we don't just have a crime problem in Baltimore. We have an economic opportunity problem too. President Obama appointed Mary Miller to a top job at the Treasury Department to help cities recover from the recession and manage our nation's finances. I like that too. Now Mary Miller is determined to get money flowing into Baltimore neighborhoods that have been left out for far too long, investing in housing, small businesses, and creating jobs. I love that. Mary Miller, Democrat for mayor. She's prepared to make the big changes Baltimore needs.
Paid for by Mary Miller for Baltimore. Vernon Reed, Treasurer.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore.
The views and opinions of the guest and host you hear on 1010 WOLB
are not necessarily those of the staff and management of Radio 1, its sponsors, or advertisers.
It's done unto you as you believe. It's done unto you as you believe. I'm gonna get there, yes somehow. It's my way.
Welcome back to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Jason, I just want you to say what you coming to you, Byron. I promise you, right next. We'll say what you were saying. Go ahead.
So there's a great child psychiatrist that said that a child's development is based on two things. It's based on what should have happened and what should not have happened. So in some examples, what should not have happened, we hear it all the time. Ebony Magazine just recently put out a report that over 85% of women in our households have been sexually abused. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. We see all the time where a mother will tell a child, "You're just like your father," and drag them around. And really speak down to that child as opposed to uplifting that child. And those are the things that really hurt our children's development. And then things that should happen, we hear all the time within our community. Don't pick that crying baby up. You're going to spoil that baby. But we don't realize that a child's neurons are still developing, and they need that touching. They did a study one time where if you take a child that has perfect sight at birth, and you put them in a room for 5 months in the dark for 5 months, that child will go blind. Because what happens is that brain doesn't wire up, the synapses doesn't kick in for sight. It needs that stimuli to build those neurons up. So if you're not touching your child and not hugging your child and affirming and giving that affection to your child, then that breaks off those neurons and that development. So then that child becomes isolated. That child becomes non-sociable, angry.
But I think what also is that you need to instill, because all of those things, the scenarios that you just mentioned, those are the things that I went through as a child. Sexually abused by my stepfather, beaten by my stepfather, beaten by my mother.
Things that shouldn't have
alcoholism,
happened.
When I said beaten, I don't mean slapping. I mean breaking my wrist and splitting my thumb and all of those things. And I wrote about that in my first book.
Which was the title?
And Still I Cry.
And Still I Cry.
I have a copy here.
Okay, I've got it already, but I was just letting so people could know. Go ahead.
And Still I Cry, and I talk about that because people, and I went through some things, drugs and a whole lot of other stuff during my younger years. And by society's definition, I should still be where I was then, having gone through all of that. And having gone through all that, I think is the reason that I did turn to drugs at an earlier age, trying to get rid of the thoughts of the traumatic life that I did lead as a child.
That's interesting that you say that about the drugs part, because my mother used to tell me all the time. She would say, "Watch out, because you are a product of drug addicted parents and alcoholic parents. There's a possibility that you may be like that too. Now, it's not because genetically I've been changed, but what it is because my environment, that behavior, even from the womb, created that cortisol, created that stress in the body.
But then you have to start believing it, and that's when my sister, where you come in, your platform is so much needed, because then individuals need to understand that everything that you want to be, whoever you want to be, it starts with you.
Yes.
Because nobody came around and said, Barbara Robinson, I'm going to make you this. Barbara Robinson had to go inside of herself
and affirm yourself.
Absolutely. You know, and remember that yes, you are somebody, and realize that your condition does not have to be your conclusion.
Come on now.
Yes.
I would like to ask you a question
Go ahead,
because
Abner.
also during my life I've been raped before.
Me too.
And my
With a
family
gun.
members thought that the only way to control your child is to beat them. So
That's right.
I've been through that also.
Yes.
So usually, not always, somebody comes around and say something to you that will not leave your consciousness. Did something like that happen? What happened that
my
that just
sixth
took
grade
you-
teacher told
Yes.
me that I would never graduate from high school. And she says, and I don't think that you'll ever make it to the 12th grade. Well, I made it out of the 12th grade. But then when I became an adult and I'm on welfare and I'm living in the projects, and then my husband is doing his own thing and I'm doing my own thing.
At least you was married. Go ahead.
You know, sometime I should not have been.
Okay.
Yeah,
But and it took 18 years for me to get my first degree because everybody said I wouldn't do it. And everything that I've ever done in life was when somebody told me that I couldn't do it.
That's fuel.
You know, so then and that was 3 degrees ago and 19
Come
so
on.
a whole lot of other stuff. You know?
Wow. Well, listen,
Come
let me
on
get to
now.
the phones, ladies. We got some men calling. This is what they want to do. We're going to talk to the genders today. Hi, Byron. Thank you so much for holding. How are you?
That's okay. I'm the stepchild of talk radio. I'm used to waiting. But anyway, I want to say a lot of things, and hi to your guest, by the way.
Hello.
A lot of things about design, and we have to deprogram ourselves and our kids, because it's not the house that we live in now. It's the house that we were taken from long time ago before our ancestors came over here, and we've been brainwashed ever since, and we have to deprogram our kids. You take, for instance, a woman or even a man that want to give their child up for a better life because they know they can't take care of it. They're called trifling and
irresponsible. Go ahead.
Irresponsible and promiscuous. But then a white person do it, it's an unselfish act. That was great. If a black man stay home and take care of the family and do everything he's supposed to do while the woman go out and work, he's trifling, no good, deadbeat dad. But then the white guy do it, he's Mr. Mom. So a lot of games are being played on us where we need to, like I said, I keep saying deprogramming ourselves because we don't deprogram ourselves, and sometimes we do things that we don't realize is by design.
Right, and practice and orientation, absolutely.
Those are things that's systematically put in place just to break the family down.
That's right.
But
And they've been doing that since slavery.
But my problem is I hear you, Byron, but I don't care what nobody say. I don't feel like nobody's got a right to hit nobody. I don't feel like you adult shouldn't hit. You go to jail if you assault or you hit an adult. What makes you feel like you have a right to beat that child? I'm telling y'all, that was the one thing that I don't understand why we do it. And
Where did we learn that from?
From slave being whipped ourselves.
That's the way of punishing somebody. That's the way of making them do what you want to do. That's just like a person that's evil. He'll take a woman even the other way and don't want her to be around nobody. You want to control her. You want to tell her everything she got to do. You can't be around your family or your friends. That's a sign of an evil person.
Yeah. It is.
Beyond evil, I think it's a sign of a person who lacks parenting skills. And
hold on, Byron. Go ahead.
It's not just a person. I'm not suggesting that parents who spank their children are evil. I think they don't have the tools to discipline children or to teach children or encourage children to do what's appropriate. So they resort to what's easy, which is hitting, and what they're doing is teaching their children that the way that you control somebody or the way that you get what you want
you solve
is through
a problem.
violence.
Yeah,
It's
problems.
through violence.
Like
It's through violence.
hurt people.
Exactly.
Whoop people. Think about
But
it.
there's another side to this, and I am a child that was abused by my mother. All right, physically. All right, but she grew up in the 1950s, and being a Puerto Rican family, that was the discipline. You know, they believed in that. You know, rule by the rod. You know. Matter of fact, she went to Catholic school, and the nuns would hit the children as well. So everything, you know, was kind of enforced from generations past. Yeah. So there was a behavior that continued during her child rearing. You know, but you have to be able to break those cycles. So for me, I've never hit any of my children.
Yeah. And I wasn't even in Catholic school, but during my time, there was a wooden handle and leather straps nailed onto that, and that's what the teachers would hit you in your hand.
Like corporal punishment.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, can I say this?
Come quickly.
A whooping and a spanking are two different things. There's a balance.
No, it's true.
It's violence.
It's true.
It's spanking, but you can't take out your frustrations on a kid. And let me say this real quick before I get off. There's a vessel that that we're in all the time that we forget. Keep the insides of your cars clean. Spray them down with Windex, apple cider vinegar. You can use 60% alcohol. You can use all kinds of things.
The inside of your car?
Right. Your windows collects a lot of germs. Your gear shift, your steering wheel, your latches, all that. You're sitting in the car like a petri dish. You know, people are breathing and everything. A lot of us clean the outside of our car, but we don't disinfect the inside of our car, and that causes a lot of germs and colds and viruses.
All right, thank you so much, Byron, for that. For that information.
No, hit it.
You're welcome. Peace.
Peace.
God bless.
Go to next. Just hit next.
Okay, next. Who is that? Sherry?
Hello, eating fast food.
That's right.
And in this,
Amen.
That's right.
and when I say learning as a family, I'm going to include the black man in this too.
Thank you.
Because sometimes we do come off angry with the black man, and that's why they call us the angry black woman. No, we need our black men. Because right now I was in the same situation, sounding, acting angry, and this is not a criticism, this is a retreat, because I'm having time to reflect on my life, and I wish I could have done some things differently in my household. It got to the woman, sometimes women could get power and get money, and we feel that we don't need a man. We start getting territorial. We start separating us to put our black family. Good day.
Listen, Sherry. Listen, bless you. Would you vote for Elizabeth Warren?
You know what? No. And I'm going to tell you something. I think Joe Biden, even if he was going to run, he made a very big mistake announcing a woman.
I don't think he made. I think he made a mistake announcing a black woman that he was going to choose, because he ain't gonna do it. Y'all gonna see he's the biggest liar since Trump. Thank you.
And see, but you hear the passion in her voice, like she was passionate, and you're using passion. Like we get it. You see, but if someone else, they're like, why is she talking all angry? It can be something as simple as that.
Right. And I'm sorry, America may have given Biden for Anita Hill, but I haven't.
Absolutely.
And I still have problems with the way that he treated Anita Hill and that whole Clarence Thomas
and you're
thing.
standing for black women, and that's a campaign that we want black men to stand.
And if y'all go back and look at that, I sat and watched it every day. He made her feel like a penny waiting for change.
He did. Yes. Come on, he did.
And, you know, ain't no change coming from no penny. No.
And
but she got two of them.
People, different classes or different levels. I won't say classes. Or women have different opinions about that, because individuals who are not professional or in professional positions say, well, why couldn't she go somewhere else? Why don't understand why it is that she would follow him job for job because of what he did. But those of us who came up through corporate America or in the court system, knowing that you're killing yourself, if you then who are you going to complain to anyway?
Exactly. Who's going to hire you if you do?
Who's going to hire you anyway?
There's a different way that's handled too.
Yes.
White women handle that in the office space a lot differently than black women do.
Right.
It's
so.
True.
But they also get promotions quicker when they giving it up.
That's true too.
Yes.
Brings it back home.
Yes.
I love you. Yes. I always keep it real.
I would like to add that I almost forgot what I said. I was waiting.
Take your time, darling.
Yes, I would like to add that because the abuse, the rapes, the deaths, the births, everything that's been taking place for so long back into slavery, that our people that look like us don't believe, they've lost hope, they've lost faith, and to the point where they'll go out and support the white businesses before they'll support the black business. I heard Miss Emerson talk about businesses and whatnot. And the point that I want to make is that sometimes, because we don't have the faith, we've lost the hope, a mountain is placed in front of you just to show others that it can be moved.
Yes. Amen, amen, amen. But you know what? You got to have the mind. My mama said you got to have your mind made up and knowing where you're going. I mean, I send people to black businesses all the time. I'm looking for them, and I want to go. Organizations that I know are black people. But there is just something about the white man's ice. It's
Iceman is cold.
But black business owners, you got to do better in some cases, because I support all black businesses. We have to be better. We have to step our games up with customer service, with quality. We have to. There are a lot of them that do, but we got to make sure.
Listen, did y'all see what's that woman that got that hot pot stuff? She's advertising the Target.
Yes.
And all the white women got mad because Honey Pot got mad because she said it was giving a black girl an opportunity, and they got mad at her.
But they already have the opportunity. They don't even need a commercial.
They don't have to say that, do they?
No.
This is my sister, and whom I love, my first sister, Lamitra. I'm sorry, sweetheart. I don't know why you hung up, but you're here now. I hope you've been listening to the show. And we were as you know, we're talking about women, and we were talking about the perception or the idea that the angry black woman and how they're perceived. Do you have commentary? Do you have something you wanted to say on that?
Yes, the phone. I didn't hang up. I've called 3 times. This is my 3rd time.
Oh, okay.
She's not angry. She's patient.
No.
This is my 3rd time calling.
Okay. She's being nice today. Go ahead, sweetheart.
What I wanted to say that it all started with slavery. It all started when the master would threaten a family, or let's say a female, with her child.
Taking them away.
Tell her that he wanted this or that, so he wanted her to go and get her man, else he was going to kill her child. Okay, so they start playing us against each other. And kept playing us against each other. They played daughters against mothers. They played sisters against sisters. That's where it all started from.
And they also did it to their own wives, didn't they?
I agree.
Yeah, they did it to their women because they wouldn't even let them vote. Yes, Miss Nancy?
And I think she's making an excellent point, because a lot of attitudes or behaviors are holdovers from experiences we've had, like the experience of having been enslaved. And it causes us sometimes to misidentify our enemy. So we turn against maybe another sister that we should be working with, or against, like one of the callers said, that we think that the men are responsible. And it's not that that some of us may not be doing things that are harmful to others, but the important thing is that we figure out ways to work together.
Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned earlier Madeleine Albright, and I just want to point out that no matter what she said about sisterhood, Madeleine Albright was part of an administration that dropped bombs in Africa. Barack Obama, that put a lot of troops in Africa and killed a lot of African people. Barack Obama is the first president of the United States that dropped bombs in Africa in overthrowing
Gaddafi.
Gaddafi, exactly. Yeah. So sometimes we glorify people just based on image. Barack Obama,
and vote for him too.
Biden, and we don't really understand issues the way we should. I think as a community, It's very important that when we talk about sisterhood, that my sisters are sitting next to me at this table, but my sisters are also in Haiti, and in Zimbabwe, and in Venezuela, and in Cuba, and in all over the world. And all over the world, sisters are struggling. And in many parts of the world, sisters are struggling because of what this country, the United States of America, is doing to oppress them because they happen to live someplace that has raw materials that this government wants. So if you live in a land that has oil, then America is going to try to control that and steal that oil.
Right.
So that in order to do that, you have to oppress the people because they're not giving it away. People want their natural resources to be used to develop their own societies, but they're being used in being stolen. And the thing I think as sisters that we have to recognize is that it's not. I shouldn't be proud if my son grows up and says, "Mom, I'm joining the Army. I'm joining the Air Force," because my son did say that to me. My youngest son met a recruiter, took a test, and the recruiter said, "You did so well on that test. You'll probably get a job in the White House or something." Oh my goodness. Well, whether he did that well or not, they'll tell you anything. But the point is, I told him, and my son loves to travel, and he loves he loves to fly. I said, if you like aviation, become an air traffic controller. If you like to travel, then get a job and buy tickets and travel at the expense of other people, because if once you join the U.S. military, then you are going to get everything you want by killing other people and taking their resources.
And not only that, they're gonna put you on on the front line, so you get killed first.
And I'm just saying, as mothers, as women, this is Women's History Month. We have an obligation to make sure that we're not sending our children, our sons and daughters, to other people's lands to oppress them, to steal their resources.
Women in Africa.
Hold on, Ray.
Because I taught women in Lusaka, Zambia, and women in Africa were the group that I worked with there, African women, looking for the same thing that we are in America. And the reason that I was able to do as well as I did there, because the African man looked at me as an American lady and not as one of the Zambian women. So they
treated you differently.
Treated me differently.
Better?
Well,
more permissive. They permitted your.
I was able to do a lot of things that they were not. That was the reason that we worked until the wee hours of the night with just women, because they realized that if this American lady can, so can I.
Yes, it was empowering.
So you
Ray, welcome to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People. Do you have a question or comment, sir?
Yes. Where in the world did we get this here from the angry black woman? Where in the hell did that come from?
White folks.
Not us.
Came from white folks.
No angry. Yeah, we take on everything that the white man say. Like,
we don't take it on. They just perpetuate and use it against us.
Let me say, I'm not no African American. I am really Israelite. I'm not no African American.
Okay.
Why we got to take on all these things that white people give us? Why do we go for all this here?
Because they have the power to use it against us, sir.
Well, I don't have to accept it, and I don't accept it.
Well, I don't either, but that don't mean it's not real.
I've seen black women get mad like everybody else getting mad.
Exactly, it's a human instinct, but that ain't like that. There's
just no angry black woman.
Yeah, but say the same thing about angry black men too. But they, that's all a farce. Anything they can do.
But anybody oppressed, like you were saying.
All right, thanks, Brother Ray.
So can we have a minute to talk about our program?
Yes.
And just like one last thing about beating a child. You damn well I beat my son.
Well, we'll show the end of your on this show, sir. You have the right to. I meet some parents and I feel sorry for their children.
Right. Kids say the darndest thing.
Yeah, they do.
Hard
yes.
time.
Listen, on
Brother Carlos is up.
Brother Carlos. Okay, let me get to him.
He's on. All right.
Brother Carlos, are you there?
Hello.
Hello. How are you, sir?
Oh yeah. I just wanted to say just a quick thing. One quick thing, if I could, to our beautiful African queens. But Patrick, number one, I wanted to say that the Cubans have developed a cure for the virus out there. They have that what they call the interferon B and 22 other cures for that coronavirus.
Really?
Just Google it. Just Google it. Okay. But now I want to say to our black feminist queens that you were strong black feminists long before Gloria Steinem and white feminism came along. You had to be because you went through a baptism of fire. Please do not let white feminism co-opt black feminism. It is white feminism is not made for us. It helps to demonize the man. Keep your black feminism strong as it should be. Thank you.
All right. Okay.
We don't follow them.
I know we don't follow. Let me see here. Is Dr. Alexander still there?
Yeah, both of them are still there.
Okay.
Both of them
Stace, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Listen, I'm sorry you didn't get in on that much, but we are getting ready to close down. But on Saturday, March the 28th, 2020, in the Harlem Park Recreation Center at 1 p.m. That's 700 North Calhoun, Baltimore, Maryland. Y'all know where it is. 700 North Calhoun, the Harlem Recreation Center at 1 p.m. They are celebrating All African Women's Revolutionary Union presents International Women's Month. Gusai Gaba, Abina Disro Morris, Farika Bahan, and Miss Nancy Wright. Women speak out. Triple oppression, race, class, and gender. Sisters supporting each other in an unjust world. Let's talk solutions. Vendors, child care, performances, food. Contact Abena at 202-528-6884. That's 202-528-6884. That's Abena. If you want to know about this is Saturday, May the 28th. That's Saturday after next?
Yes, it is. And just in case it gets closed because of all this coronavirus, we do have another date as a second. It would be Saturday, April the 11th at 1 p.m. at the same location.
Okay.
But so far, it's March 28th, 1 p.m.
All right. Well,
Does it include air flight?
What do you say?
She says that does include air flight. I wish I had the money, baby. I would fly you in. That's my sister.
You would be one of the speakers.
Yeah, that's right.
But she said they might delay it. But even if they delay it, maybe they might do something on Facebook where the sisters can call in and talk, and that would be great. That would, because even if y'all can't meet, be some of y'all just
aspect.
Yes, because we need to talk about this. Y'all, nothing's gonna change until we start talking about our problems.
Until men also like you, I want to thank you for even talking about our problems.
Listen. I had a mother.
And keeping it real.
Yes. Next, we got one more week, so y'all to tune in next week. You have been listening to Patrick Henderson's Meet the People on WLB 1010. Thank you, Miss Nancy. Thank you, Amina. Thank you, Lamith. And thank you, Senator Barbara Robinson. Thank you, Jason, for putting this all together. God bless. Have a great week. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
For everything he promised you that you'd get, waiting on the other side of temptation, waiting on the other side of this test is everything you've ever dreamed, everything you prayed for, everything he promised you that you'd get. So hold on.
Talking the day, soul at night on the new 1010 WOLB.
Agnes was in deep trouble with the IRS.
I owed the IRS a lot of money.
She found out about Optima Tax Relief.
They guaranteed me that they were going to help me out the best that they can, and they did.
Optima stopped the IRS.
Optima Tax took care of everything.
Are you in deep trouble with the IRS? You might want to listen to Agnes.
I would refer Optima Tax Relief to anyone.
Call Optima right now for your free consultation. Call 800-799-0977. 800-799-0977.
Optima Tax Relief.
Do you have a civil legal challenge that requires the help of a lawyer, but you can't afford one? Maybe you're trying to keep your family together, stay in your home, or remove a criminal charge from your record to gain employment. You may qualify for free legal help and representation through Maryland Volunteer Lawyer Service, a nonprofit organization that matches Marylanders with pro bono attorneys. Income and case qualifications apply, so call us today at 1-800-510-0050 or visit mvlslaw.org.
Were you born from 1945 to 1965? People born during these years are 5 times more likely to have hepatitis C, but most people don't know they are infected. So even if you try to eat right, exercise, and take care of yourself, you can still have hepatitis C, a serious liver disease that often has no symptoms. In fact, people can live with hepatitis C for decades without feeling or looking sick. But over time, hepatitis C can cause serious health problems, including liver damage, liver failure, or even liver cancer. Getting tested is the only way to know if you're infected with hepatitis C. That's why the CDC recommends everyone born from 1945 to 1965 get a blood test for hepatitis C. Treatments are available that can cure this disease, so talk to your doctor about getting tested. It could save your life. A message from the CDC.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
We will never fully understand what we've asked of our military service members, of their families or their children, asking them to deploy, patrol, stay on watch, on point, asking them to put themselves in harm's way, to endure it all. But we do understand that it's our turn, our duty, to bring them all the way home, to keep them secure, to have their backs for the rest of their lives. Wounded Warrior Project long-term support programs do whatever it takes to help our most severely ill or injured veterans live independently, at no cost, for life, so that they might stand at ease. Find out how you can help at findwwp.org.
What's one of your favorite memories?
That's a tough question. Well, there was this one time I went camping with my parents in a forest back when I was maybe like 8 or 9. And I can remember one night we were laying out in our hammocks and we were just, watching the trees rustling in the wind above us, and we could hear the sounds of the forest all around us. Frogs singing and owls calling and the creek running nearby. It was amazing. It felt like we were a part of it all. I don't know if I do it justice trying to describe it, but I'll definitely never forget it.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
St. Jude exceeds any expectation or any dream I could have ever had about a hospital. First was getting David here to save his life. But then I was told we wouldn't get a bill. I didn't quite process that. How's this possible? It's possible through all the wonderful people who donate.
It's pretty amazing when you consider that 7 years ago, we didn't have the treatments we have now. We cure 80% of children with cancer. If you think about that, go back 50 years, we were curing 20 to 30%. This is the miracle story of modern medicine.
The research here is research that we share with everyone else because overall, we want to help all children that have cancer. What makes that possible is people that give to St. Jude. They really help us to fulfill our mission, and we're so grateful to have them on our team.
St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Finding cures, saving children. Learn more at stjude.org.
I'm Tiffany.
I have some tips for you on how to quit smoking like I did. First, I did some reading about it. I found a lot of great advice on how to quit smoking and picked out the ways I thought would work best for me. I started by setting a quit date. Then I threw out my ashtrays, lighters, and matches. I did other things too, like exercising more, and it worked. But I'd still get cravings, especially on long car rides. To help me with that, I put a picture of my mother in my car. She died of lung cancer from smoking cigarettes when I was only 16. Now I have a 16-year-old daughter. That picture of my mother reminds me that I don't want to miss all the things my daughter is going to do in her life, including turning 17.
You can quit. For free help, call 1-800-QUIT-NOW. A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and CDC.
What's one of your favorite memories?
That's a tough question. Well, there was this one time I went camping with my parents in a forest back when I was maybe like 8 or 9. And I can remember one night we were laying out in our hammocks and we were just, watching the trees rustling in the wind above us, and we could hear the sounds of the forest all around us. Frogs singing and owls calling and the creek running nearby. It was amazing. It felt like we were a part of it all. I don't know if I do it justice trying to describe it, but I'll definitely never forget it.
Most of us have a memory of being in nature we'll never forget. Let's protect the world's natural places so more memories can be made for generations to come. Visit worldwildlife.org.
Every day, 70,000 puppies or kittens are born in the U.S. Cute, right? Well, what's not cute is that half of all litters are accidents. And when a kitten has a litter of oopsies and a puppy has a litter of uh-ohs, pretty soon you have thousands and thousands of OMGs. And that leads to millions of pets being killed in shelters each year. But if 80% of people with pets say they believe in spaying and neutering, then what gives? Turns out that those sweet little fuzzballs can get pregnant sooner than you think. A lot sooner. But here's the good news. You can stop the accident before it happens. You just have to remember one number, 4, as in 4 months. When you bring home Maggie or Ruby or Puddles or Clyde, get them fixed at 4 months old. It can be old enough to get pregnant, and it's definitely young enough to make a difference. Prevent more. Fix at month 4. Visit fixat4.com for more information. Brought to you by Best Friends Animal Society.
WOLB Baltimore and WERQ FM HD3 Baltimore. Brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel.
Community is on the edge of this emergency. And that's why we're having this call tonight. If we don't step up and protect our community, our children, our businesses, obviously nobody is even talking about it. Nobody is going to do it for us. One part of discussion. If folk can call in and give their view and agree or disagree, but I'm talking about what I saw and what was said. I ain't talking about what I imagined somebody meant. I've been in presidential debates, over 30 of them in 2004 when I ran. You say what you mean what you say. So I know there's going to be a lot of various views today, and that's good. It's healthy. We need to put it out there. But I'm putting mine out early. Let me say by way of announcements, don't forget to watch Politics Nation with Al Sharpton every Saturday and Sunday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time, live on MSNBC. And it is important we stay informed now more than ever. Because, of course, this is changing as we speak. The $8.3 billion package that the House of Representatives voted and passed Friday night is now going to the Senate. I don't know why the Senate didn't reconvene over the weekend, but it's going there, and it may pass. But it's only the beginning of a process, because we are headed toward the peak. This has not peaked yet. And people around the country 69 so far that have lost loved ones need to know the country is behind them. And those that are testing positive. And those that are untested because they're in areas and communities that the health facilities are not there. So we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about the debate. We'll talk about how tomorrow in 4 states, Illinois, Florida, Arizona, has their primaries. A lot to talk about. So I'm open up the phones and let you express yourself. Don't hold it back. 1-877-532-5797. 1-877-532-5797. Shopton, keeping it real. Be right back.
Keeping it real. Keeping it real.
The issues, the stories affecting you. Now here's the news from News1.com.
I'm Ebony McMorris. Primaries are set for 4 more states tomorrow. Voters will go to the polls in Florida, Illinois, Ohio, and Arizona. Now, it's unclear how the growing crisis over coronavirus will affect voter turnout. Former Vice President Joe Biden has enjoyed a string of success and hopes to continue his momentum toward the Democratic presidential nomination. Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders hopes to slow or reverse Biden's momentum. Florida is the biggest prize with 219 delegates in play. Illinois offers 155 delegates, followed by Ohio with 136, Arizona with 67. Both candidates during last night's debate discussed the immediate economic impacts of coronavirus. This comes as the Federal Reserve has cut interest rates to almost 0% in response to the economic turmoil.
Our job right now is to tell every working person in this country, no matter what your income is, you are not going to suffer as a result of this crisis of which you had no control.
That was Senator Bernie Sanders. Biden insisted there must be a major bailout package that benefits all individuals, not just major corporations, and added no one should be disadvantaged financially because of the virus. Both argued health care surrounding treatment for the virus should be completely paid for by the federal government. Meanwhile, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo is warning the nation's hospital system will be overwhelmed from coronavirus if no action is taken.
The governor thinks there will be a wave of coronavirus patients nationwide.
The curve that everybody talks about, I see as a wave, and it is going to crash on the hospital system. We do not have the capacity to manage this number of cases. That's what happened in Italy.
Cuomo spoke on NBC's Today Show this morning. The governor calling on President Trump to use the Army Corps of Engineers to help build temporary hospital facilities. Scott Pringle, NBC News Radio, New York.
For all the news 24/7, go to news1.com. I'm Ebony McMorris.
Everyone knows that even good people fall on hard times. Your credit cards get maxed out and you get behind on your taxes. Unfortunately, the IRS is not as understanding and they won't stop until they collect. They have the power to take your paycheck, freeze your bank accounts, even your home could be up for grabs. It's simply not worth the risk to take on the IRS by yourself. You need to call the experts at Optima Tax Relief. When you call, be sure to ask about the Fresh Start Initiative. It's a special IRS tax debt assistance program that could save you thousands, even tens of thousands. Optima will immediately provide you with a team of professionals who could protect you from the IRS, ensuring that you get the best possible outcome. The Better Business Bureau has awarded them an A+ rating, and you will too. So put the hard times behind you and call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-395-7366. 800-395-7366. 800-395-7366.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Do you currently get regular structured settlement or annuity payments from an insurance company for a personal injury, auto accident claim, wrongful death, or inheritance? If so, you don't have to wait for months or even years to get the cash you need now to cover urgent expenses like debts, tuition, medical bills, or exciting events like a new baby or down payment on a home. With over 25 years experience, J.G. Wentworth, the country's leader in structured settlement purchasing, has helped thousands.
The new 1010 WOLB with talk in the day and soul at night. The new 1010 WOLB with talk in the day and soul at night.
Keeping it real. I'm your host, Reverend Al Sharpton, and we're back. It's Hot Button Monday, 1-877-532-5797. And we're joined, as we are every Monday, to kick off the week, our co-host for the first hour, the esteemed author, commentator, and civil rights leader, head of the Los Angeles Urban Policy Roundtable, Dr. Earl O'Farry Hutchinson. How you doing, Dr. Hutchinson?
Very good, Reverend Al. And, I'm chuckling a little bit. I don't know why. Only because do we have a lot to talk about today?
Well, I know why you're chuckling, because the old folks used to say we sometimes got to laugh to keep from crying.
Ain't that the truth?
Because there's a lot of mess going on out here. The whole coronavirus emergency climate we're under, I raised several concerns all weekend and repeated some of them. And I want your take. Is that my concern is that as these tests are sent to these 2,000 laboratories that the president announced, or his task force did, how do we know these laboratories are going to deal with underserved communities where we are? How's that going to be monitored? How's that going to be dealt with? And the whole question of our being in communities that don't have the same amount of health services, how are our people being treated? The other problem is, as we close the schools, New York and all over the country, parents that have to work and can't afford child care and that have been depending on schools as part of their child care and providing free breakfast and free lunch at a time that they're closing down a lot of those budgets. Where do these kids eat from and eat during the day? So you have no child care in many homes, no breakfast or lunch. And then you have unsupervised youngsters in the street, who's going to lead to your phone and mine running off the hook about police encounters. Right. This could be a real catastrophe.
Well, Reverend Al, let me add one and two other items to that. What about, I know in New York City and now out here in L.A., all the restaurants, they've been closed, the bars, public places, needless to say, all the events. What about the tens of thousands of people that rely on that for employment, income?